Hello and welcome to Arsenal Domination, where today I want to talk about the correlation between transfer fees, wages, and squad value and winning the Premier League title. And this comes to mind this morning because the latest financial data from the 24-25 season is out and it makes some interesting reading. We all know that there is a correlation with every single Premier League side, bar Leicester City being in that top two or three, top five certainly, for squad value, transfer fees spent, and wages in Premier League history. As I say, Leicester the exception. And it does bring into stark contrast this claim that Arsenal have to win the league because of their transfer spending, which of course has been huge. But when you look at 24-25, and I'm going to look at the sort of big three sides coming into this year, which are Liverpool, City and Arsenal. I still think that they are overall the best three sides around. Arsenal actually sit fourth for wages. They spent 338 million, which is huge. Wages are the biggest expenditures clubs have last year. City second with 408 and Liverpool top 421. And since Mikel Arteta came to Arsenal, City have spent more in transfer fees, Liverpool just slightly less, but when you factor in agent fees and wages, they have spent cumulatively more than Arsenal. Both were coming from a higher base when Mikel Arteta took over. And this suggests actually that Arsenal are actually operating at a disadvantage compared to those other two, and therefore claims that we should be winning the league are probably not entirely true given the relative spending over that period. But the fact is that Arsenal's improvement, and there's been significant improvement, plus spending well for the most part, there are of course exceptions, but spending well is really important. You can look at the likes of Spurs, Chelsea and Manchester United that all spent more than Arsenal, but haven't spent it so well, and therefore, are struggling more, albeit they have had some more cup success than we have. That is true. But it all suggests that really Arsenal should be winning trophies. They should. I don't think anyone denies that. But I think it does sort of put a bit of a caveat on how much we should have been winning. But I do think, though, that when I look at this, Arsenal's spending and the way they spend it well puts them in a position where I think success is just around the corner. We have an incredible squad. It's an improving squad. It's an improving manager. It's a committed squad. It seems to have the right mentality. And despite accusations to the contrary, we have shown we've been tactically flexible. We've gone from a back three when we started to a 4-3-3. And we've seen tweaks again to the system this season with more through balls, quicker transitions, and 4-2-3-1 and 4-2-2 at times. So overall, I think given the spending on the squad, the fact that commercial revenue is up means that success could well be here to stay, and we could be on the verge of Arsenal becoming a preeminent force in football. But it does have to also be put into the context of we're not the only ones that have done this. There are other good teams out there, and the narrative that Arsenal have to win the league because we're the only ones spending is clearly shown to be false by that financial data.